Justice for the Serlick Children podcast.
This podcast is for educational and advocacy purposes only. If you are facing a legal situation or have questions about your own case, we strongly encourage you to consult with a qualified attorney who is licensed to practice law in your state. Again, we are not offering legal advice, we are not practicing law, and the content is not a substitute for professional legal counsel.
Good evening. It is Saturday, January 31st, 2026. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of Justice for the Serlick Children podcast.
And we definitely have an interesting episode for you today. So what we are going over, to give you some context, about a little over a week ago, January 23rd, somebody sent Heather a link to a Google Drive file folder. And when Heather looked at it, it was very clear what it was. This was a dossier that was being put together, and we're just pretty much assuming Heather's not the only person that this group is creating these dossiers on.
There's no assuming. I know for a fact that there are many folders because it's been told to me. The person that sent me the link said that there are folders of other victims as well, and they are one of them.
Yeah.
So,
and it is disturbing when you look at what it is in the folder, and what they've used it for. Basically, they have weaponized information against actual family court victims while they sit there and claim to be advocates for family court victims. But we're gonna show you the folder. We're gonna put everything up on screen, and we're gonna lay it out for you.
Yep, we're gonna expose the truth.
We're just gonna get right into it here.
Yes, we are.
So
now, I had previously said this was going to be episode 3, but I had some filings that I filed earlier last week, so we moved this to the weekend so we could spend a full good amount on exposing this, because there are emails we're going to be reading as well.
And there was a lot to go through, and we wanted to do whatever analysis we could on some of this stuff. Now, we're not going to necessarily get it too deep into the analysis. We're going to just show you what's out there and let you decide on the relevance of it.
Just remember, if you at any point sent your court documents to this group, the Family Court Fraud Warrior Project, just know that more than likely there is a folder just like this on you as well. Yeah. So please use caution when sending court documents, especially unredacted ones that have protected information on it. Please do not send it to someone you've never met.
I was going to say, be careful sending it to anybody. But we're going to actually pull it up on the screen here. So anybody watching the video of our podcast, it'll be available on YouTube to watch the full video so you can actually see what we're showing. That's going to be key. If you're listening on Spotify, I encourage you, take a minute, go over to the YouTube link and watch there. So here is the folder in question, and we're going to point out a couple things here to start.
Created October 29th, 2025. Now, that was 21 days after what?
You had a court hearing in your Illinois case. It was you were essentially appearing via Zoom, and you had been part of this organization.
I was a volunteer,
and you had reached out to them
in our WhatsApp chat,
asking for some assistance to get some visibility on your hearing. Get some other witnesses.
This group has their volunteer chat on WhatsApp, and I was in that WhatsApp chat. And I was begging, literally begging. And I can even in a next, a future episode show the entire chat. Just pull up my phone on the screen and expose the volunteer chat for the world to see. But I was literally in that chat the day of my Illinois Circuit 19 hearing, begging the owner of this group, DW, and one of his employees, JN, and then the third third of his employees, AJD, do you see what I'm doing there with the initials? To expose on a Facebook Live this hearing and the fact that Judge Jacqueline Melius was refusing to let me into my own Zoom court hearing. I sat there for an hour. So I was in the WhatsApp chat saying, hey, I really need some exposure right now. This is happening in the moment. They're keeping me from my own hearing. They're going to dismiss my petition without me present.
So less than a month later, this organization, and you can see the owner of this by their email highlighted on the screen.
I'm going to read the email because it's harder to read when you have it highlighted. amy.d@fraudwarrior.org.
Okay.
So if you know DW's two employees, AJD and JN, you know that his employee started this folder on me.
Okay.
After I had sent my entire Illinois docket since 2013 to present and my entire Florida docket 2023 to present to those emails. So they had all of my information. And what did they do with that information? They created a folder to harass me.
Now, there's a lot of stuff in this folder that they didn't just get randomly off the internet.
No, this was absolutely provided to them.
So we're going to, where did you want to start with?
So there is a subfolder inside of this that I want to address immediately because I want to point out what these people are doing. These people are screenshotting our social media, throwing those screenshots into this folder, and then naming them things that they're not. So actually, it's in the other folder. Okay, go back to the main folder, and I think it's further down. In total, there's probably about 45 files in this folder. Dave's Kids. There we go. So the file is named HB Facebook post about Dave's Kids. So DW's kids.
Now,
I've never spoken about his children.
I was going to say, anybody that's just looking at the title of the document might think you had a negative post about his kids. But if we actually open this up here.
Yeah. The moment I saw that, I'm like, what the heck is this about? I've never spoken about his children before. I have no reason to. They are innocent parties involved in this situation. So why would I even discuss him? So Pete, read my actual post. And does it say the date?
It's being difficult. So the actual...
so it actually says 25 minutes ago. So this would have been... When was the date of the screenshot? Go back for a second. November 11th. So this obviously was a post I made on November 11th of 2025.
Although it could have actually been sometime before that.
Right. But let's pull it up and then go ahead and read what my post actually says. And this was triggered by me being given a screenshot where DW was in his Facebook group ranting about me and claiming to have spoken to my children, my minor children.
Okay. And just reading the actual post here, Family Court Advocates, it has been brought to my attention that DW with Family Court Fraud Warrior Project from New York is claiming in his Facebook group to be speaking to my children now. Please tell me how you would feel if a complete stranger is so obsessed with you that he is apparently now talking to your estranged children, according to his post in this group. That is next level psychotic. On what planet is this acceptable? Just who the hell does this maniac think he is? Leave my babies alone. Hey, Dave, you really want strangers all over the internet to reaching out to your children? Do you have a brain tumor or something? You need mental help. Dear Lord, this is getting scary. Do not trust him. You freely gave him all of your court documents, and he reaches out to the children that are the victims. Do not give complete strangers your court documents. All of this insanity with DW, JN, and AJD started October 8th, 2025. during my Illinois Circuit 19 court hearing where I was in the volunteer WhatsApp chat begging Dave. And then it gets cut off because it's just a partial screenshot.
Where, other than how would you feel if strangers reached out to your children, other than that sentence right there, which is a valid question if he's claiming to have reached out and sought out my children.
No, it's very clear when you actually read this. This was not you attacking his children or anything. This was you defending your children and saying, why did you do that, dude? How would you feel if somebody did that to you?
Right. I'm a mama bear protecting my children from a man that is old enough to basically be my father. He is not young, and he should absolutely not be reaching out to 18, 19-year-old girls and minor children. Because my oldest is 19 now. So who the hell does he think he is reaching out to a 19-year-old girl?
Okay. There's a lot of other stuff in here. Now, a lot of it, it's not just, not all screenshots from your social media.
Right.
So some of this stuff was sent to them by somebody. Did we want to get right into that email and just rip the Band-Aid off?
Yeah, let's get into the email that Mary Serlick sent to this group.
All right.
Now, this is where it really starts to show that you send your court documents to this group, and then they go through the court documents and then start communicating with your abusers as the victim. And then it becomes very evident that they start communicating directly with the abusers and then flying monkeying you. So all of your credit is blown. So they are literally seeking out court victims, convincing court victims to send their court documents to them, and then darboing those court victims and abusing them.
Now,
in an attempt to silence them is obviously what it seems like.
Now, getting directly into what we have up on the screen. So this email, I'm just going to point out a couple things. It was sent Tuesday, November 11th at 3:34 p.m. So 3:34 in the afternoon. Now, on Tuesday, November 11th, something significant started happening about 4 o'clock that morning.
Yeah. That's when a bunch of our friends were reaching out to us saying, we just got an audio clip at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't even want to open it or listen to it, but I felt you should be aware of it.
Yeah.
So they literally created fake Facebook accounts. One of them was named Ariana Bendel, which Ariana's name is Ariana Serlick, not Bendel.
Another one was named Anonymous Profile, but they spelled the word anonymous wrong.
Right. Those are the two profiles we were aware of that our friends were screenshotting and sent to us. Apparently there were more.
But prior to you getting this link, we really could just only imagine where that came from. But this email is actually a full-blown confession. Now,
well, before we even get any further, the email is to amy.d@fraudwarrior.org. Yeah. And pay close attention to this, iserlick@gmail.com. Not I am Serlick, Ira Mary Serlick, I Serlick. And what is the name next to I Serlick? The bold name.
Ira Serlick.
I can tell you for a fact, guys, Ira Serlick doesn't have the time to do this. This was 100% Mary Serlick.
No, and she
pretending to be her husband, Ira Serlick.
She wasn't even pretending. She was just using his email. She signed it.
I'm telling you right now, I was married to this family. Yeah. I've never seen that email before.
But anyways,
that is a new email.
Anyways, again, this was sent by Heather's. It was actually sent by Heather's ex-mother-in-law, Mary Serlick. We'll show you that at the bottom. Did you want me to read it or did you want to read it?
Go ahead and read it.
All right. Starts off, and again, this is addressed to Amy or AJD. Hello, and this is coming from Heather's ex-mother-in-law. I was notified today from a group of friends about a Facebook post by Heather Bendel. I had sent a sound file to either Amy or Dave via email, I think, or I believe, in which I sent a warning about the contents of Heather verbally screaming at Tommy when he was 12 years old and the day before Christmas.
How old is Tommy now?
18.
So we're talking about something that allegedly happened 6 years ago.
Well, but again, let's get through all of this first and then we can analyze it a little bit more. This was recorded by my son, Justin, while he was still cohabitating with his ex-wife, Heather.
Why is it in quotes?
So
what does cohabitating mean when it's in quotes?
Clearly, they were not in a romantic relationship at that point. They had
we were not.
You guys had gotten divorced in 2013.
He refused to move out of my house with my children.
But then it goes on to say, this is not AI generated, not fake, but factual, real recording. And Florida CPI child protective investigators have a copy as well. So now someone has sent a Facebook Messenger message using a fake account, Mary Smith. Now, this is interesting because we never got shown a Mary Smith. We got shown several other. So there was at least 3 different fake profiles sharing this audio.
The one that caught my eye that I made a post about, literally about that post, is Ariana Bendel.
Yeah. And so
trying to associate Ariana with me instead of the Serlicks.
And then it goes on with incorrect info to all of Heather's friends. Okay. And it says, I'm okay with that part of this. So she's, 1, admitted to providing the audio file. 2, she's admitting to be okay with the file being used maliciously and being sent out to everybody. So that's 2 confessions. Moving on, it says, however, the body of the message states that it's Heather screaming at Charlie. It was not Charlie. Please review what has been posted. Screenshots have been included in this email. I want you to know, if you do this, remember, facts are number 1 and critical in exposing a malignant sociopathic narcissist. Now, I really want to just highlight that little sentence. Facts are number 1 and critical in exposing a malignant sociopath narcissist.
She wants to focus on facts, but we're about to blow her out of the water.
We're going to get into the facts. Don't worry about that. All right. Of course, she's not blaming the Fraud Warrior group or any member of the group. Rather, she is blaming Mary Serlick and Laura Stiles. It's weird to refer to yourself in third party.
Because she's pretending to be her husband, Ira Serlick, and I hope Ira divorces her ass.
This email, let's break this down for a second. The email is complaining that your Facebook post is accusing Mary and Laura Stiles of orchestrating this. But this email is literally confirmation that Mary did exactly that.
Yeah. She's literally confessing in this email.
You can't make this up. It's wild. Anyways.
No. I want to read this section. Okay. Mary Serlick and Laura Stiles, whoever sent the message, so she's talking in third person. I don't care, period. Facts, however, are critical. And boy, oh boy, did you get this wrong. She is literally scolding AJD for getting shit wrong. She's scolding Family Court Fraud Warrior Project.
She conspired with this group to wage an online campaign against you.
And she's scolding them.
She's scolding them because they changed the information that she sent them.
Because, she's such a lovely person that she's scolding. All right. You must stop misstating facts after we gave you the true facts. Okay, so there is Mary Serlick telling Amy, AJD.
Again, claiming she sent true information to them, but it's wildly not.
So she's literally in this email accusing AJD of misstating facts. But yet that's what this whole group claims to be about, is truth and transparency. And here is someone supposedly calling them out on not being transparent and truthful.
All right.
All of them are insane. So then she goes, she can threaten to sue me all she wants.
Oh, don't worry, it's coming.
I'm not afraid of her, but are you able to handle the blowback legally? Oh, a defamation case is absolutely coming against AJD and DW. Don't worry about that. We are suing her right now. News to me, Pete.
Yeah, in federal court, nonetheless.
In federal court over using our last name without our permission nor consent.
Now, I want to pause for a second because we've brought that up before. We've mentioned
trademarking.
We became aware that she had filed to try to trademark the last name Serlick. Now, the last time we looked it up to check the status of it, there was actually 2 filings. One was to trademark the name Serlick, and that one was completely stalled out and basically being dismissed by the Patent and Trademark Office.
Right.
The other one was to trademark a logo that they created, with the name and some weird, sort of circle around it, which would they'd be able to get you on if you ever use that logo, but
Right.
that logo is so goddamn ugly.
It was obviously created by someone without a high school diploma.
Not only that, it was very obviously this was an attempt, because when you look at the dates of them filing that trademark application, that was literally filed after you created your nonprofit.
Yeah.
So this was their attempt to try to attack that.
Yeah.
But moving on. So what they're now saying in this email.
Yeah. Well, hang on. I want to read this. I want this to be in my voice. We are suing her right now, ... in federal court over using our last name without our permission nor consent. Well, I'm so sorry, Mary.
Wasn't that your last name too at one point?
Exactly. I had that name for a decade.
Isn't that the last name of your children?
Years. And all 4 of my biological children carry that name as well. So,
and you're actually listed on every single one of their birth certificates.
yeah, exactly.
And your name on the birth certificates for at least 3 out of the 4 was the same last name.
Yeah. Ariana, Tommy, and Bianca. My name on their birth certificate is Heather Louise Serlick. I had Charlie after I divorced him and went back to my maiden name.
Now, for anybody who's interested, if you ever look up, can you trademark a name? Yes, you can trademark a name, but there has to be unique circumstances around it, and you cannot just trademark any, commonly used name just because you want to trademark a name. It doesn't work that way.
Okay. So moving on. And the legal fees cost us is already over $150,000.
I'd like to see those receipts.
Yeah. Well, my question would be, is that $150 what you've spent since 2020 to kidnap my children and then traffic them with all of your illegal connections? Is that your total cost that you have spent in the last 6 years to steal my children and alienate them and abuse them? Okay. I'm curious. An investigator would find that out.
Now this is the part. The next sentence I just thought was kind of hilarious because,
hang on.
Again, it was news to you that you were being sued in federal court.
We have already won, but above she says we are suing her right now. Wouldn't it be we have already sued her if you've already won?
Yeah, let's just make up more lies here.
Right. We have already won, just waiting on the court to decide the financial restitution we are due, in quotes. FYI, it's in the millions.
We'll see who's due what.
Last I knew, I was not a millionaire because you are stealing half of my teacher's salary right now. So how could I possibly have millions to be paying you in this fake, non-existent federal lawsuit? And she has no clue what else is lined up, but that is coming soon. Is that a threat, Mary Serlick? Are you threatening me now? If you require proof, we will send you the federal docket info, currently being withheld by the federal judge so Heather wouldn't, quote, call in the circus of her court watchers. Oh, that would be your group that she so effectively used. So now she's blaming the Family Court Fraud Warrior Project for advocating for court watching.
Now, here's the wild and crazy thing, and we're going to show this. She's alleging she is suing you in federal court and that she has the docket info. Well, we're gonna show the federal court information.
Let's get through reading the email first, and then go ahead and read the next sentence.
Here's what Heather publicly posted on Facebook, as well as her fiance, and they put me in quotes and spelled it wrong. Peter John Arnold. Screenshots were forwarded to my cell phone. They were probably taken from your cell phone, but now I understand Heather also uses fake Facebook accounts, usually uses fake famous Hollywood star names. Rob Lowe was one she tried using years ago, but I was on to her then. She reveals herself in the words of the messages. Narcissists cannot help themselves and generally out themselves unknowingly. You mean like
you're doing
you
in this
filed
email?
a federal lawsuit?
You mean like what you're doing in this email right now?
I do not even care to look at her Facebook. These screenshots sent to me today. Please use the information we provide carefully with the facts. Signed, Mary Serlick.
Mary Serlick.
Now, obviously,
so she talks
there was a
about
lot
herself in third person in the body of the email. The email subject with the identification is identifying her husband, Ira Serlick, who is a Port Orange, Florida VIPS, Volunteer and Police Services. So she is using Ira's identity to send this email, then referring to herself in third person in the body of the email, but then at the end of the email saying it's her.
Yeah. Now, obviously the original email, again, this is just what was in the folder here was a PDF of the email. Obviously, the original email had several images attached to it.
That are not loading.
Those don't load because it's the PDF and they weren't saved
Scroll
properly.
all the way down and let's see the person's
I'm going
response.
all the way down because there was a response to the email, and there it's on the screen now. Coming
Amy
from
Duncan.
AJD.
amy.d@fraudwarrior.org, dated Wednesday, November 12th at 7:03 a.m., so the very next morning at 7 a.m., to Ira Serlick, iserlick@gmail.com. Thank you, Mary! ! I am not sure who is sending the recording in Messenger, and we are equally upset that they were giving inaccurate information. We have done our best to correct the falsehoods, but we are committed to ending her reign of terror on people. I hope y'all are able to find peace from her one day.
Now.
My reign of terror?
Yeah. This is just
Signed,
wild.
Signed Amy Jeter Duncan, Director of Investigations, Family Court Fraud Warrior Project, Manhattan, NYC, New York City.
So if this person who just replied to the email from Mary or Ira, whoever sent it, is the Director of Investigations, you would think they would do a basic minimum investigation.
Yeah.
Now, there's stuff in there that's very easy to prove or disprove.
Right.
The email alleged that they were suing you in federal court. Mm-hmm. What's the system to check federal court?
Pacer.
Oh, look at that.
We got Pacer up because, yes, we have Pacer accounts.
So now if
let's search. Let's search.
So I have, if you're looking on the screen again, we pulled it up. We do have some pre-saved searches here, just to make it easy to go through here. So the first one, this is a pre-saved search searching for Heather. I guess it's not just going to pull up as easy, but it preloads the form.
Okay.
All right. So this is showing every federal case in every federal court in the country with your name on it.
And honestly, I had no clue that a few of these were federal. I honestly had no clue.
Well,
so the Brian Knutson et al. Versus Village of Lakemore, that was a class action.
And that's actually two of the cases. One obviously went to
So that was
appeals.
actually, Village of Lakemore is a small village in Illinois. We had a lawsuit, a class action lawsuit started by Knutson, that he was actually a police officer that was off work and got caught by the red light cameras. And Lakemore has red light cameras everywhere. So Knutson, as a off-duty PD officer, got busted, swore up and down his due process was violated. He was not due this ticket. So he literally turned around and created a class action lawsuit that I jumped in on. Ultimately, it failed and nothing ever went anywhere. But, that is two of the cases you see here is that class action about Village of Lakemore.
And I just zoomed it in a little bit to make it easier for people watching.
And then the third one, this is the one I had no clue was federal. I knew that Brian Knutson was federal, but I had no idea that when I filed bankruptcy in 2007, with Justin Serlick when we were married. We got married in 2003. We had over $100,000 in medical bills because neither of us had health insurance for a while, and we both had health issues. So we ended up filing bankruptcy 4 years into our marriage in 2007. And that I had no clue actually showed up on federal docket, but there it is.
So bankruptcy court is a federal court.
Yep. I didn't know that.
Well, now you do, but that's
know.
Literally those three cases are the entirety of all federal cases listing you as a party to the case.
Yep.
If somebody sued you, there would, even if a judge, somehow restricted it, sealed it or something, there would still be an entry. Okay. And then let's not even get into the details of due process.
Right.
You can't have a suit and in any court get all the way through to the conclusion and the other party has never even been notified of it. Doesn't work that way.
No. Sorry, Mary.
So now, just to be fully open and transparent, so we showed you this is everything Heather shows up in on the federal court docket.
This Pacer, if you don't already have this account, I highly recommend you get it. If you intend on going federal, you're going to need Pacer, and you have to. The way you sign up for it, they send you a letter in the mail, so it's a process. You don't get automatic access to it. So it's public access to court electronic records for federal.
Now, your ex-husband, Justin Serlick, okay, the bankruptcy that you're also listed on because you guys were married at the time, he's on that one. And then there's another one.
Yes, and this lawsuit, I actually encouraged him to jump in on. This was another class action lawsuit. He had worked for, as a manager, the mobile solution in Rockford Mall in Cherryvale, in Rockford, Illinois. And he was not being paid overtime. And that is a labor law violation in the state of Illinois. So he jumped in, per my recommendation, this TMS lawsuit to recuperate his owed overtime pay that they never paid. And he actually eventually won. So I knew that was federal.
So a couple things to point out again, too. Anybody that's never heard of Pacer, the website is pacer.gov. It is an official website of the United States government. It says so on the banner up at the top, but it does show all federal court information. So
this is where you can find Matt Grants, the attorney in St. Louis, going after RICO in 1983. So you can see his case on Pacer.
Let's go. This last save search we have, Mary Serlick in that email that she sent to AJD claimed that she had already, was suing you in federal court and had already reached a conclusion.
And it's in the millions.
So if she's sued you in federal court as a party to the case, her name should show up. Now, there is a case with her, but it's not a case against you. What is that?
That is a Illinois Northern Bankruptcy Court, date filed April 14th, 2010, date closed September 7th, 2010. So in 2010, Mary and Ira Serlick filed bankruptcy.
But that's the only federal case. There's no federal case against Heather Serlick or Heather Bendel or Heather Paschal or any of your names.
Right. Yeah. So Ira and Mary Serlick filed for bankruptcy in 2010, 3 years after Justin and I filed. Interesting that to this day, they constantly throw in Justin and previously my face that we filed bankruptcy and we walked away from our financial obligations. Well,
and then 3 years later they filed bankruptcy themselves. You do the exact same.
So you're obviously not much better, Mary and Ira. All
right, now
we've
exposed a huge lie in that email.
Right.
Now there's a principle in the legal circles. If there's one lie exposed, pretty much you have to assume everything that person said is a lie. Exactly.
So that's why we're exposing the truth. There is something else I want to show. Go to my background check. So someone, I'm assuming Mary Serlick, paid for a detailed background check on me and then gave it to Family Court Fraud Warrior Project. Binverified.com, and this costs money. So someone paid money to run a full background check on me, which I have no problem giving my background checks to anyone because I'm a public school teacher.
I was going to say, been verified. It's a background check on publicly available information, but they do, if you pay, you're able to get criminal background check as well.
How many fingerprint background checks did I do last year?
I don't know. I've lost count.
Those are all FBI background checks.
You had for
FEMA
teaching positions, FEMA.
Florida Guardian Ad
Litem, foster parenting.
Florida DCF foster parenting.
I'm sure there was more.
Yeah, there were several more, but mainly
at least five or six background
the federal
checks.
Government, FEMA, did a background check on me at their location in Georgia.
That was a much more detailed background check.
That is the federal government doesn't get any more detailed.
You literally had to go to a classified location.
It was a bunker that the president goes to at a certain level.
Yeah, you had to go. I mean, look, the FEMA location, it is publicly known, but more details about it it is still very much to some extent a clandestine operation that they've got going on there. But it was an experience for you. But that was just part of the background.
So I'm just
check.
looking at a comment here. Tom Smith is asking, filing bankruptcy can help with Title 4D order, which is child support. No.
Student loans and child support
Yeah.
are things that they can't wipe away from bankruptcy.
Nope.
Although some student loans, if you make the right argument, get the right judge on a good day.
Not federal student loans though. Private student loans possibly, but as far as I've been trained with Mark Ludwig, and if I am wrong in this, please someone say it. But I have been told that Title 4D arrears cannot be filed on bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So let's go to this been verified. So they have this up in this public folder. And one thing I am incredibly pissed off about is the fact that it is exposing my father's name, address, phone number, etc. My father is a very private person. He is a military family.
And I'm not going to scroll down because I'm not going to show it.
And that's why I'm pissed off that Mary Serlick has no problem giving out other people's addresses without their permission.
What I am going to do, I'm going to scroll down. I took it off the screen here, but I'm going to scroll down and show, because I want to show the criminal portion, because they've made numerous allegations, even in court, that you are a criminal and have been convicted of all kinds of things. You've been arrested so many times.
But it literally shows like all emails associated with me. Some of them I haven't seen or used since I was
putting it back up on screen here. So we've scrolled down to the possible criminal and traffic records section. So
record number one,
record
Wisconsin.
number one.
I like to speed.
Speedometer violations.
My father is a Ferrari guy. I was taken to classic car shows my entire life. So I have a lead foot and I like to speed. I'm so sorry.
Record number two, another speeding ticket.
Speeding. I like to speed. I guess that's
Nothing
my
else.
only crime.
Oh, hey, look, your bankruptcy fell off the record.
7 years. It's only on your record for 7 years. 2014 is when it dropped off.
Now you do have a business.
I do. I have several. Orbital Reach Marketing, LLC.
That's your for-profit business.
Which is my marketing company. And then I have two nonprofits, Justice for the Serlick Children and then Southeast Volusia CERT, Community Emergency Response Team that I started last year. I started Justice for the Serlick Children nonprofit and the CERT at the exact same time with small business development program here in Florida. They are also a nonprofit that helps get people set up with nonprofits for $50 a month. It is stupid easy. They do everything for you. And then a ton of screenshots is really all that's left other than these audio clips. Yeah. And what I have a problem with the audio clips are, it is so incredibly obvious when you listen to them that they're not all from one supposed incident. They are actually combined together.
Pieced together.
It's piecemeal together. And then there are portions of it where my voice does not sound like me at all. I know what my voice sounds like. I was in choir since I was in 4th grade. Choir, musicians, we record ourselves and then we listen to our voice so we can critique ourselves. That's literally how we're taught to become better musicians. So I've been recording myself and listening to myself since I was a little kid. And obviously now we run a podcast. We listen to our voice throughout it because we're editing the clips. We're doing things with our voice where we're making sure that the sound quality is good, etc. So I hear my voice.
You're literally listening to your voice through the microphone right now.
Yeah.
In fact, that's when you have a setup like this, the reason why we are actually wearing the headphones that we are is because otherwise
we don't know what we sound like.
There's all kinds of feedback that we have no idea what we would sound like through the equipment. So you're literally hearing your voice through recording equipment.
Point being, I know exactly what my voice sounds like and what it doesn't sound like. And these voice clips that Mary Serlick literally admitted in that email to sending to Family Court Fraud Warrior Project is not only multiple situations combined into one clip, but there are portions of it where my voice is either distorted or it's not me at all.
Now, again,
so it is absolutely a manipulated voice clips.
We did play our legal disclaimer at the beginning, but I feel like for a moment, now's a good time to replay it as well. We want to make something very clear. We are not attorneys. Nothing in this episode should be taken as legal advice. The information we are sharing is based on publicly available records, court filings, and our own personal experiences and research. This podcast is for educational and advocacy purposes only. If you are facing a legal situation or have questions about your own case, we strongly encourage you to consult with a qualified attorney who is licensed to practice law in your state. Again, we are not offering legal advice, we are not practicing law, and the content is not a substitute for professional legal counsel. Okay, now, some people, if you're watching the video, you might have been confused because you were hearing my voice and nobody was moving their lips. We do have that recorded.
Pre-recorded.
So we can just hit a button and it plays. The reason I wanted to play that is because I do want to point a couple things out. You know, obviously, November 11th, those audio files were sent out en masse from numerous fake profiles making allegations that were factually incorrect, not true, provably false. But something very important about those recordings, because both Illinois and Florida have laws about recording.
States.
Well, Florida is actually an all-party state. So, sometimes in there's some states, and again, remember that legal disclaimer. So, there are some states where they are two-party states. So if there's a third party, that opens it up and anybody can record. Florida is not that way. Florida, all parties have to know. So that recording
Illinois
that was
is the
done,
same way.
that recording that was made in Florida violates Florida law, and the statute of limitations on that is 2 years from when you discovered it.
Well,
so you've
hang
got 2 years.
So that email said these were recorded by my son when they were cohabitating. So that would have been Illinois.
That was the first. There was 3 different audio files.
Oh, see, yeah.
The one that was sent out
I can't even keep up with this craziness.
So the one that was
either way, Illinois is the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
If obviously at some point he was recording me, if Justin Serlick was recording me without my knowledge or permission, that is a felony.
3rd-degree felony in Illinois.
So Mary Serlick is literally admitting that her son committed felonies in that email. Mary, do you understand that you literally admitted that your son is a criminal and a felon?
Aiding and abetting.
You admitted it in that email. Are you stupid? You just gave me a ton of ammo to go after your son. Thank you.
Now, there was another recording that was made in Port Orange, Florida at Mary and Ira's house, and you were not aware that was being recorded either.
I had no clue. Now, I did know that they had cameras throughout their house, and I actually confronted Ira Serlick because he literally admitted that he was watching me sleep on the couch through the living room camera in 2020. So I confronted him about it. I'm like, are you seriously telling me that you were watching me sleep on your couch in the middle of the night? That is disgusting and disturbing. What else was Ira Serlick watching through those cameras when my minor children were staying there temporarily? I'd love to know. These people are seriously disturbed, and that's why we're exposing all of it. So someone, obviously Mary Serlick, paid money to run a background check on me and then provided that background check to these strangers in New York. So now these strangers have a ton of private information for a ton of other people that are not me. My father, my stepmother, my stepsister is on that. Like, these are people that have no clue that their information is being exposed to a bunch of strangers on the internet right now. And now Mary Serlick has victimized my father's family. Do you not get that, Mary Serlick? Does that not go through your pea brain that, your high school GED diploma? You don't realize that you're actually harming more than just me? Come on. Use your brain. Stop giving out freely people's addresses and phone numbers when they have no clue that you're actually exposing that information. That is protected information, Mary. Think before you act. So, this screenshot is...
I don't have it up yet. I was trying to look at stuff first because...
Well, go ahead and show that one because... So, a lot of these screenshots in this folder, ironically enough, actually further prove my story. So, this screenshot was an email which tells me that Rob Rothundi provided this information to Mary Serlick.
Now, who is Rob Rothundi?
Rob Rothundi is a ex-friend of mine that I have known since middle school that I thought was a good human. And then I found out while living with him that he's not.
It's not.
Okay, use the plus sign. Use the plus sign to zoom it in and just leave it there. Okay, and then the rest of the stuff there you go. Okay. Leave it alone. All right, so this is from Rob Rothundi to me, and it's dated your stuff June 29th, 2022 at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Pretty much.
Sorry to hear about what happened with Greg. So for anybody new that hasn't been my friend for a long period of time, a lot of my Illinois friends are fully aware of who Greg Shivers is. He is a Florida man that I met and got involved with very early on here in Florida in 2022 is the first time I ever met him. We started dating and I quickly realized he is a closet raging alcoholic and becomes very, very abusive when he's drunk on Fireball. So Rob is emailing me saying, sorry to hear about what happened with Greg. You can come to get your stuff when you can. Now, backstory time. In 2020, a month after my children were kidnapped by Illinois DCFS, citing me failure to provide proper shelter, I had been in contact with Rob. Rob and I were close friends. He is a drummer in a band that I support. And he had said, hey.
You had known him for some time. It's not like you just met him.
No. I've known him since 7th grade in middle school at McGee Middle School. We were childhood friends. I was literally always over at his house. His mother's name was Donna. His sister's name is Sam. Like, if I know his mother and his sister's name, obviously we've been friends for a while. So he's like, hey, my grandma passed recently and no one has been taking care of my grandparents' house. Now, his grandparents' house was directly across the street at kitty corner from my high school house that I lived in with my mother and stepfather and my grandfather. So I knew both of his grandparents. I literally had to walk past their house to get to and from school, and his grandpa was always in the yard tinkering with things. He was a hoarder and tinkered with things and had garage sales. So he had offered to let me rent the house so I could get my children back from DCFS as soon as possible. We signed a lease together. He was living in the basement. I was fixing up the rest of the house. My children and I's property were in the house. I literally had a lease from 2020 to 2022. He knew that I had towed my RV down here. Our whole circle of friends knew this whole situation. So I towed my RV down here December of 2021. All of my property remained in that house. The bills remained in my name while Rob lived there alone and was supposed to be paying me for the bills he racked up in my name. In 2022, in April, I had to go back up to Illinois on an emergency trip because I had a medical emergency. And at that point, I didn't have Florida insurance. I didn't have Florida doctors. All of my doctors and insurance was still in Illinois. So I had to drop everything and drive up there to be seen urgently for a medical situation. I had emailed Rob multiple times saying, hey, I need to stop by and get my mattress. I need my mattress. I need a few things before I go back down to Florida. I stopped there and I had actually organized with a few of my friends to help me load up some stuff. And he refused to allow my friends and I to get my property that I needed. So that's what this is referring to. You can come get your stuff when you can. I'll get the stuff in the house out for you once you make room in the garage for it. I would have done this sooner, but I fell down the stairs a week before you showed up here, and I've not been able to do much since then. I'm still dealing with the repercussions of it. I've been in the hospital for the last week.
I don't know why it keeps closing.
It's because it's a screenshot. For the last week, I meant to send this last week. We can figure out the stove and the rest of the stuff in court. I had literally taken him to small claims court, sued him for my past due bills because he was supposed to be paying the bills that were in my name, but he was literally racking up the bills and then not paying it. So essentially, I was being forced to pay for him to live somewhere.
Now, something interesting, because you just mentioned the small claims case you had against Rob. Mm-hmm. Illinois has a law or a rule with small claims court that any information that either party was planning on presenting in small claims court has to be given to the other party as part of discovery. Right. And you got, we're not going to get into it today, but you got basically copies of all of the text messages that Rob had sent back and forth.
No.
Was that,
Don't confuse. Don't confuse.
I thought that was that
You're thinking about J.T. Schrader.
Sorry. Yeah.
J.T. Schrader and Mary Serlick.
You're right.
Completely different. That is the situation that triggered my children to be stolen from the daycare. Yeah. That was Mary Serlick coordinating an attack and executing her attack to steal my children from Kitty Cottage Daycare.
Sorry about that. That was my mistake.
Anyways, it says, please communicate with me on when you are coming and not show up unannounced like you did both times before, which is gaslighting because I have emails proving that I was communicating with him, letting him know that I was having to go back up there on a medical emergency and that I needed to get my mattress and stuff. He was fully aware. Not going to get too much into it, but basically this screenshot is literally proving my story that I've been saying for the last 6 years. So I'm not sure what the point of these screenshots are because it's proving my story. And then this screenshot is, I
don't have it up on the screen for the viewers yet.
Gotcha.
I just wanted you to see if you wanted to show it.
This is supposedly my daughter Ariana texting me. And to this day, I have no idea if it was actually Ariana communicating with me or if it was Mary Serlick pretending to be my daughter.
Now,
because obviously that's what they're best at. Now,
putting it up
do you
on
remember
screen.
what I told you Ira Serlick did for a living before retiring down to Florida?
Yeah, so when he was working as head of security at Abbott Labs, one of the things he would do was create fake social media profiles so he could infiltrate groups like PETA, find out when they were planning on protesting or breaking into the research labs at Abbott Labs.
So Ira Serlick is notorious for his job for creating fictitious social media accounts to stalk people.
And you know that because you were
married
also
to the
hired,
family.
You were married to the family, but you were also employed as security with Abbott Labs.
Yeah, I worked at the research farm. Yeah, absolutely.
Something to point out about this one, I did put it up on the screen so anybody watching the video can see it. This is, again, supposedly a message from your daughter asking about getting her stuff back. Now, it's important to note, you've never withheld their stuff at all. In fact, you've told them,
the property
come
in
get
question
it.
from that previous email about Rob was said property in question.
Yeah.
He had all of our property that was in storage. All of my children's property, all of my property, all of Justin's property was being stored in that house until I could get back up to Illinois and move it out.
And then you moved it out of the house and you put it into a storage unit.
I had to throw it into storage because right when I was moving it out, September of 2022 is when Ian and Nicole hit here in Daytona, Florida area. And the house that I had actually signed a lease on for October of 2022 was affected by the hurricanes and was flooded, so I could never move in. Yeah. So I literally had to toss all my property in storage in my hometown of Round Lake Beach, where it sat until when?
2 summers ago.
July of 2024.
When you and me went up there and...
So it sat in storage in Round Lake for 2 years.
Paid for a moving company to load it up and bring it down here. So you and me spent thousands of dollars.
$6,000. It was like $6,600.
That was just the cost to move it. And then I don't even know how much you had spent in storage fees over the years. Because you went from... Your house in Round Lake into 2 pods that you were paying for. Fox Lake. 2 pods. You had one of those pods shipped to Florida.
Right. Because of Justin.
And then shipped back to Illinois.
Because of Justin.
And they were held in storage for some time until you got them out of the pod storage.
Right.
Got them loaded up on a U-Haul truck expecting to come to Florida.
Right.
But then the hurricanes hit.
Correct.
And then you put it back in storage in Illinois.
Because I didn't have anywhere to put it.
Where it sat for a couple more years.
Until we moved it into this house we're physically in. Yeah. So in this screenshot, go ahead and share it.
All right. It's up on screen.
Okay. So this is supposedly from my daughter, Ariana Serlick. Where's the top part of it? There we go. My response to...
you drag it down and it
my response to your email. I have no interest in moving in with you or getting help with school from you. I'll figure it out myself. Frankly, I don't care on what Florida or Illinois sees on custody of me. I'll be 18 next month. Court no longer has any decision on where I live or who has custody of me, nor do I have any interest in hearing about who or what is lying to me. Frankly, I don't care. All I have interest in is getting mine and my siblings' stuff back. If there is a place I need to go to retrieve these things, just send me the location and time. Well, that would be this house.
And you literally have.
They have had this address for years.
And you have literally sent
and keep in
numerous
mind,
other
what
messages.
time is this sent? This is sent at 11:55 a.m. So at
on
this
whatever day it
point,
was.
on this point, when she sent me this message, I was her legal custodial parent.
Yeah.
I had been her legal custodial
the
parent.
Temporary guardianship transfer from Illinois had
So
expired.
from December 28th, 2023 to her 18th birthday, September 15th, 2024, I was legally responsible for her. And what was this child doing? Well, I was legally responsible for her.
Pretty much just skipping school and failing most of her classes.
Straight Fs, straight 1.0 GPA, unexcused absences. She wasn't going to school. She wasn't where she was supposed to be as a minor child.
Now,
and she's literally telling me, I don't effing care.
But here, I mean, I'm going to pull it back up. I took it down for a second, but I want to point out, like, this starts off where obviously the message before this, you had offered her,
Help. I'd offered to
place
help
to stay.
her. She obviously
you
was
offered to
going
help
through
her
something.
with
If she has a
school?
1.0 GPA,
I mean-
unexcused absences as a minor child, she's not 18. She doesn't get to do whatever she wants. I was literally offering to help her, to get her grades up, to help her fill out applications for scholarships to go to college. And if the situation she was in was not safe, she would always have a room here. And I've said that to all 4 of my children. If you need me, I am here. I am local. And that is how she was talking to me. So, you know, I'd love for anybody to say that that is appropriate to be speaking and saying to your legal custodial parent.
So now going back to the folder, I'm pull it back up. Several screenshots or files titled screenshots. Greg Shivers, you've already mentioned him. We've talked about him in prior podcasts.
Yeah, I don't know what Greg Shivers has to do with my family
So
court.
most of these were where they screenshotted posts you made on Facebook.
Yeah,
but again,
talking
these
about him.
literally just.
But I don't understand what my ex-boyfriend has anything to do with my family court cases in Florida or Illinois. I don't understand why this stuff is even in this folder. It makes no sense whatsoever, other than proving that certain people, Mary Serlick, Laura Stiles, AJD, are obsessed with me.
Well, and here's the thing, and it's on the screen now. So all of these,
they all have to do with him getting arrested.
and these are all contemporaneously documented when you made the post on Facebook as things were happening.
Yeah.
It basically locked in your story.
Exactly.
You know, so this
It
is
proves my story.
It's literally.
That's why I don't understand why this is even in the folder. It's literally proving my story, not actually proving I'm lying. It's proving that I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
None of this makes any sense. But I'm going to remind you guys, if at any point you have sent any of your court documents to Family Court Fraud Warrior Project, odds are you have a folder in your name just like this. So just be aware that this group is stalking you and reaching out to your actual abusers, and then collecting and collaborating with your abusers to silence you.
And you know,
And this is a open shut, solid defamation case.
And very obviously the folks that decided to try to put all of this information out there for you, which, I mean, look, all of the screenshots of your Facebook posts, that stuff is out there. Somebody, if they really wanted to, could just dig back through your entire Facebook history.
It's all
Almost
public.
all of it's public.
It's all public.
But there are some
obviously
weird,
I'm not hiding anything if it's public.
There are some interesting screenshots here, and I want to point out a couple things. And I'm putting this one up on the screen, and I'm zooming in a little bit here.
Oh yeah, this one. This is altered.
Yeah. So, oops. Get it. All right.
There it is.
Okay. So I want to point out a couple things. First of all of these screenshots, and anybody that's listening, take a screenshot on your phone right now. It doesn't matter what phone you have. So Heather's got an Android. I have an iPhone. You take a screenshot. The corners of the screen are rounded. That's what the actual image file shows. They show rounded. So any of these that are not rounded have been altered in some way.
Yeah.
Now, this one, I want to point out, because this one was so blatantly obvious that somebody had pieced together different things.
It's the bottom of an Android screenshot.
So, yeah, you have an Android, the Android navigation,
which does not show on screenshots.
And then you have the Apple iOS top line here. But that being aside, we've looked at this one too, and this one, the names weren't even right. No. This is this one in particular. I saw and immediately I knew exactly what this was. This was back in 2020, before my children were kidnapped, and the name is wrong. So someone, Mary Serlick, Laura Stiles, who didn't know that there was a different name that it should have been, but just knew about a situation.
Yeah. Because that should have been, that word name Rob it's not about Rob Rothundi. So I don't know what they were trying to do, but it's almost like they were trying to make it look like I was making this post on a review about Rob Rothundi, but I don't know. It is so mind-blowing. But if you look at the top,
trying to build it from.
If you look at the top, that is Apple iOS, and then just below it is Android. So it's a combination of an Apple screenshot and an Android screenshot,
and again,
all in one.
The actual corners of the image file are perfect 90-degree corners, which means it has been
cropped. It's been cropped and piecemealed together.
Now, this one I actually did just for research purposes. I actually took this image file, I put it into a couple different AIs and asked the AI.
Yeah, let's start talking about
one of the analyses on this particular image actually could see different tones within the background text, and it literally said that the text was multiple different pieces manipulated.
Yeah.
So
we basically took Pete, I should say, I'm going to give him the credit. He took all of the documents in this folder, which is about 40 to 45 documents, and ran it in different AIs, right?
Yeah, I ran it through at least 4 different AIs, doing different
And what are some of the things that the different AIs caught and pointed out to you?
So the file creation dates, there was 3 files that were created the same second.
Speaking of dates, let's point this out. What date does that say modified?
November 4th.
What happened? Where was I November 4th?
November 4th, you were actually walking through the halls of the congressional office buildings in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm. November 4th was the date that I was in Washington, D.C. with Mark Ludwig and our team. Mm-hmm. So while I'm in D.C. advocating with federal congressmen and women and our team for Title 4D reform, they're launching a fake smear campaign against me.
Well, this was them conspiring and collecting documents and screenshots. So if you look at the date on the video screen right now, the date is right above Heather's head in our little picture-in-picture capture. But all of these documents created on November 4th, 2025. And then you have, this is the sound file created November 7th, 2025.
Which was the day after I shattered my wrist on campus.
And there was this sound file that was sent out on November 11th, but somebody had changed the message and claimed it was Heather abusing Charlie.
Christmas Eve 2024, so that would have been in this house.
Which... There was.
So here's the thing, guys. I've said it in previous episodes. If you go on multiple podcasts and you're constantly saying verbatim the exact same thing about your story and your words and your storyline never changes, odds are you're telling the truth. And I believe I also
you
mentioned
can't-
this on Marianne Petrie's
Can't
podcast episode.
perfectly remember the lies.
Right. But when you have stuff like this where nothing is jiving properly and multiple people are trying to create a smear campaign against you and the dates are not jiving, the facts are not jiving, they are the one lying.
Yeah. So in the overall analysis, and we'll have to go through that. We're not sure if we're going to post the analysis part, but basically it identified 3 to 4 key lies in the documents presented and the messaging that was put out there, and with just all of the facts considered, it basically says this was an active, orchestrated attack.
Yeah. So something I want to point out, and I'm really disappointed. Why is there no mention of our podcast?
Well,
why would they give us free advertising?
Well, no,
right?
they actually do. There you go. They screenshotted one of your posts here.
Yeah. They don't actually talk about anything that's actually truthful. They're just manipulating data to make it go a certain way.
I need to pull this one up because the email claimed that they were suing you in federal court. And here they literally have a screenshot of your message where you posted that, we were aware Mary Serlick attempted to trademark the name Serlick after you created your nonprofit, Justice for the Serlick Children, dedicated to your 4 children.
Probably in a lame-ass attempt to sue me over my nonprofit. So I literally put the idea in her head to claim that she sued me. So I made this post July 28th, calling her out on, she's trying to trademark her name so she can sue me in federal court. Well, she never succeeded in trademarking her name because Patents Department came back and said, we need some additional information before we can approve this application. And she never gave the additional information, so they closed out the application. So she literally took my Facebook post from July of 2025, and then in the email to AJD said, oh yeah, we're suing her because she said we were going to sue her. So we are. But the problem is we've literally debunked that lie and proven that there is no federal lawsuit in existence, nor has she won said federal lawsuit in question, nor is there millions in question because, newsflash, I'm not a millionaire.
And then some of them, like you wonder what the purpose was. And this is one I'm going to pull up because
this person is a council member for City of Edgewater.
Yeah, we know him personally.
I actually helped get him elected. I was standing on the
So
corner
this is
with
literally
them waving signs.
You had made a comment on something else, and of course it's cropped out, so there's no context on what.
I'm pretty sure Eric had originally posted about the situation with Volusia County Schools forcing their employees to do non-disclosure acts. I think that's what his post was about. Yeah. And then this is a comment on Eric's post.
So
VCS as a whole is a complete sham.
And
which they are.
I mean, I'll say this. It's
what was the point of this?
Yeah. Look, when you
nobody other than us and the people in the circle even know what the acronym VCS means. Anybody across the nation that's looking at this in this folder in question is going to be like, what is VCS?
I know what it is. Mary Serlick thinks it stands for very cool Serlicks. Or something. I don't know. I mean, again.
But anyways, guys.
Oh, yeah, here.
Volusia County School Board meeting.
Here's another one.
Okay, that woman, she's part of Moms for Liberty, right? That's what that
I think
movement is called. She was laying in, if you can't see it in this photo, but you'll see me just grinning ear to ear. This woman was laying into the Volusia County School Board about something with disabilities, I think, if I remember correctly. This was over a year ago now. But I was up to speak right after her. That's why I'm sitting right behind her, ready to go. But as soon as she finished speaking, I got up and I said what I needed to say about what VCS did
literally.
to my children.
So let's think about this. This is a screenshot of the Daytona Beach News Journal Facebook page, an article about. So actually, if you look at the very bottom of this, if you look at the very bottom of this, Volusia school board member vows to stay despite Moms for Liberty chair's threat.
Yeah, she was threatening to sue her if she didn't step down from the board.
Well, but remember that this was when Jesse, is it Jesse? I can't remember the last name. She had made comments about she wouldn't even let students from Deltona High School like wash her car or something like that. The school board member.
One of the school board members.
So this was after some serious controversy.
I think that's actually what that woman from Moms for Liberty was actually talking about in that clip. Yeah, this was. But I just happened to be in the photo because I was sitting behind her.
But again, this is copied into this dossier. So they're trying to collect anything they can. So this is somebody obviously would have sent it to them because this doesn't have any information about you, but other than that's your face that was captured in it. So, which is fine. I'm at a public school board meeting. I know my face is going to be on the screen because there's public recordings. Why would parents go to a school board meeting?
To address why their children are not being educated properly. I was literally there that day to address why all of my children had 1.0 GPAs, why they had serious unexcused absences, and yet no one was doing anything about it. You were doing what I was advocating for my children should do. Yep. I was advocating for my children. Absolutely. Any good parent, any loving parent would advocate for their children when it is so beyond obvious they are drowning in academics. Here's another good one. Like, what's the point of this? It's literally just a cropped screenshot of a frame from one of our recordings. All this does is prove that they're stalking our social media. Hey, for anybody that's new to this, hey, we have a podcast. You're watching it right now if you're watching the video, if you're listening. Yeah. But again, we're going to wrap this up. This episode was meant to expose what this group, Family Court Fraud Warrior Project, is doing to court victims. I know for a fact I'm not the only one that has a folder like this. And I know for a fact that they are stalking and harassing court victims. It has been very well known, and there have been very new developments with DW and him allegedly physically abusing a friend of his daughter's mother. And most recently, a video has been circulating of him humping a young adult in a party bus that he rented for his daughter's birthday. So he's got some serious allegations surrounding him right now. So I felt it was my duty to educate people across the nation to not trust this person and his employees, AJD and JN, because this is what they're doing to you. You send your court documents to them, and then they reach out to the people named in those court documents and then create a smear campaign to stalk and harass you, to silence you from speaking up in regards to family court reform. And, the reality in our, we had to try to make light of some of this because some of this is so serious. But to some extent, it's the only way you can deal with it. Right. But, we mentioned some of the legal violations that did occur. I do want to point out that federal wire fraud is a crime. Okay. Felony. When you have multiple people in different states conspiring to commit a crime and using electronic transmissions to do that. That's federal wire fraud. So it's a felony. It's a federal felony. That's just general information. I'm just putting that out there. Yeah. So Mary Serlick, Laura Stiles, they just keep giving me more and more evidence to sue the crap out of them. And it is absolutely mind-blowing how stupid they are. Yeah. Like, do they seriously think that I'm not going to find out about this stuff?
Yeah. So again, just to recap, because I know we sort of went through a lot of information and we were sort of, covered a lot of different stuff. This episode was spurred on after Heather was sent a link to a Google Drive file.
January 23rd, 2026.
Less than 2 weeks ago.
Yep, it was sent to me.
Within that file, once Heather opened it up and we both looked at the contents of that file, it was very clear, one, who created the file. Mm-hmm. Two,
well, it literally says who created it.
What the purpose was, which was basically to collect all the information they could to be able to wage a smear campaign.
Yep.
The file itself was shared publicly because anybody with the link has access to it.
Correct.
Even to today, which is why we were able to show it.
It is still live today. In fact, I think I'll just put the link to that folder in the YouTube description so everybody can see exactly what's in this folder until they decide to be smart enough to take it down, because now I'm going to sue the crap out of them. Yeah. This is defamation. This is cyber harassment and cyber stalking. And DW, AJD, and JN, along with Mary Serlick and Laura Stiles, you just handed me a slam dunk defamation lawsuit.
Thank you. Now if they go and try to start deleting stuff, that's destruction of evidence.
Yep. But don't worry, we have it all screenshotted. But now this episode has literally proved that it exists. So too bad, so sad. Yeah. You can't destroy the evidence now.
Yeah.
So it's there. We have it. You're going to be sued.
All right. Now with that, I want to say one thing. Truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. Let it loose. It'll defend itself. It's a quote from St. Augustine. Mm-hmm. So we're going to leave it at that. You can take a look at the files yourself. Heather will post a link. If they disable it, we'll share another link. So
we'll put all the screenshots into a new Google Drive folder, and then you can continue to look at it that way. But be aware that this group is not who they say they are. Yeah. It is beyond evident they are absolutely harming and harassing and pushing people to the brink of ending their life in this group. And this needs to stop. Yeah.
So again, truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. Let it loose. It will defend itself. We're letting the truth out there. We'll let the truth speak for itself. Mm-hmm. With that, here's a little bit of music. I'm Pete. This is Heather. Have a good night.
Night, everyone.
They bury the truth, they cut us apart. Corruption thrives where the silence stays. But we're lighting the fire to burn down the maze. We are the voice for the voiceless. We are the voice for the voiceless. This is the Justice for the Serlick Children podcast.
We want to make something very clear. We are not attorneys. Nothing in this episode should be taken as legal advice. The information we are sharing is based on publicly available records, court filings, and our own personal experiences and research. This podcast is for educational and advocacy purposes only. If you are facing a legal situation or have questions about your own case, we strongly encourage you to consult with a qualified attorney who is licensed to practice law in your state. Again, we are not offering legal advice, we are not practicing law, and the content is not a substitute for professional legal counsel. The content of this episode is for educational and advocacy purposes only. All statements made reflect documented filings and communications received by Heather Bendel and the Justice for the Serlick Children team. We encourage all listeners to form their own conclusions based on the evidence presented. No accusations are made without supporting documentation, and all persons are presumed innocent unless proven otherwise through due process.